Okay, so if you haven't watched The Last Airbender, some of you may be confused with what I just showed you. But let me put this simply. Yorinobu is the good guy. What is going on, guys? It's Fish Fosh, and today we take a closer look at Cyberpunk 2077's main plot. This video was inspired because of a few things. One, I was getting back to reading for my Arasaka kind of post for Cyberpunk lore videos, and then as I was reading Arasaka characters, I kind of stumbled upon cool facts, and I realized, wow, this paragraph or this little passage actually justifies or explains a lot of Yorinobu's actions in the main game, something we didn't really get. When I was reading the forums for Reddit and for the CDPR forums talking about how Yorinobu, quote unquote, is a good guy without any sort of facts, I didn't want to believe it. Like, of course you want to look at it as, yeah, Yorinobu is mistreated by Saburo, and so he wanted to get back at his dad. So technically, he's the good guy, and he's trying to stop Arasaka from being this massive, I guess, world-dominating company. But it wasn't enough for me. I always thought of that as kind of shallow and like, really, that's all there is to it. But because I was able to read some information from the source books, I was able to better understand why Saburo really wanted to do this, and that there was more concrete proof that he was really, I guess, against Saburo's wishes. So you guys will see that as I explain this throughout the video. But long story short, you guys heard me right. Yorinobu, no matter how you view him throughout the game, is actually the good guy. When he kills his dad, we should have all been cheering. Hate to say it, but Takemura really was a slave to the true evil of the cyberpunk world. But before we continue, I have to explain where I guess I got my concrete proof that Yorinobu is a good guy. In the source book Firestorm Stormfront, because there is not enough storm in that title, there are sections that briefly explain key characters. One of these characters is none other than Kei Arasaka. He's a character some of you guys may have heard of, and for those of you who do not know who he is the firstborn son of Saburo Arasaka. Now, this guy is currently dead as we play the main campaign of Cyberpunk 2077. He's not even mentioned in Johnny's flashbacks, which is kind of weird because his death actually happened in the Night City Holocaust when Johnny detonated that nuke. That's actually when he dies, but again, it's not really elaborated nor is it explained. But there you go, brief explanation of why Kei Arasaka is not in Cyberpunk 2077. Anyways, like I mentioned, I was reading up on I was reading up on Arasaka characters to help me understand and kind of create a video about the Arasaka company, about the Arasaka family members, etc., etc. And while I was reading a paragraph, I actually found something very, very interesting. And I quote, "Note that Kei's younger half-brother Yorinobu went rogue 5 years ago and now runs with the set of Tokyo's Kotetsu no Ryu, Steel Dragons."
Start a fucking gang. Steel Dragons or some shit.
"He has vowed to reveal the truth of Arasaka's greed and power mongering to the public. Kei has vowed to kill Yorinobu, which makes the younger brother the perfect pawn for Militech should they decide to lure Kei into a trap." Now, a few things we can actually kind of infer from this passage. Number one, I did not know that Yorinobu was half siblings or half brothers with Kei, and now I don't know if this means that Hanako is, if she is a half sibling. I don't know. I don't know if Kei and Hanako share the same mom, or if it was Kei and Yorinobu. Well, actually, technically it would be I'm confused now, but yeah, you guys get what I'm trying to say. That I don't know how that family situation works. It's not further explained in the source books, and with my little research, I was able to find anything. Anyways, another thing we can learn from this is that this little passage right here at the very end, when it talks about Kei has vowed to kill Yorinobu, which makes the younger brother the perfect pawn for Militech should they decide to lure Kei into a trap. That is pretty much alluding to the fact or to that portion of when Johnny and company nuke one of Arasaka's, nuke Arasaka Towers in Night City. That is that point in, like, I guess the lore, because we know that Militech does hire that group to attack Arasaka, and that is it right there. For again, without going into it too much, Kei Arasaka was in the building when it was nuked, so he actually died during that attack. And again, it's not really elaborated nor is it explained, but that little bit just actually, I guess, alludes to it, or we can confirm that that is what happens. Another thing we can understand from this is if we agree that all the Arasakas are evil, and let's say someone from that team defects from that group, someone goes rogue. Of course, like, I mean, simplistically, us as viewers and or the gamers will look at this as, okay, he must be kind of the good guy. We don't know yet the reason why he's defecting or has gone rogue, but you know, it still should be kind of like in the back of our mind that it is a possibility that this guy really is the good guy, but we do not know exactly why. And all we get, unfortunately for us, is this brief little paragraph, or not even a paragraph, it's a sentence. He, in this case Yorinobu, has vowed to reveal the truth of Arasaka's greed and power mongering to the public. This is huge. This is why the next paragraph, literally it says Kei has vowed to kill Yorinobu, because if Yorinobu was to expose everything Arasaka has done behind the scenes, it would mean the end of the company. Politically, economically, it would just make a total mess of the situation, and it would make it hard for this company to continue in its search for that world domination, because of the fact that, you know, people now really know what happens. Don't get me wrong, throughout the game and throughout all the source books, everyone kind of understands that Arasaka and other megacorps are pretty much like the evil of the world. But if Yorinobu, or if someone from inside the company, was to reveal all the bad, like legitimately to the public, then that would cause so many problems. This actually happens in the Sun ending of Cyberpunk 2077. There is a quick broadcast about how Arasaka has lost the political, economic power, especially within Night City. It has lost billions of dollars because it invested so much in the relic program. So this is actually seen a little bit in that ending, but that it just goes to show how much Arasaka has hidden, how many political people they have blackmailed, how many like companies they have bought off or killed off and all that. So this is a real weakness to the company, and the fact that Yorinobu is willing to do that is enough for me to consider this guy to be a good guy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, because like if I was to run into this character in the Cyberpunk world, and now that I understand the lore a little bit better, and again, like if he was to tell me, hey, I'd reveal the secrets about my entire family, and knowing that his older brother is actually out to try and kill him, he'd be someone I would, you know, take in and kind of get all the secrets from and understand and learn and ally with. That way we can actually take down the megacorp Arasaka. It's just too bad, and I know I'm getting off tangent here, but it's just too bad that V and Jackie and Evelyn kind of mess up that whole plan. Like, he was about to sell the relic to Netwatch, and he was about to fulfill the exposing of Arasaka. So it's kind of just funny how things turned out. Anyways, back to the story. And even though this is like literally we only get one sentence about what Yorinobu wants to do, it's clear that he wants to topple the Arasaka Empire. We don't know if it's because of maybe he feels his mom was mistreated. We don't know. We don't know any of that. We just know that he genuinely wants to be part of the exposure of all the bad stuff Arasaka has done. So that is enough for me to consider this guy a good guy. There's so little allies in the Cyberpunk world as it is, that being allies with someone as powerful as him, and plus having the faction he has within Arasaka, is enough for me to be convinced that, yeah, let's side with this dude. Why are we fighting him in the first place? So yeah. Another thing we have to talk about is who he is selling the actual relic to. And again, throughout the game, the narrative is megacorps are bad and they should not be trusted. This is something that is heavily showcased, especially in that scene where we are talking to the Netwatch agent. So this is what I want to kind of focus on here. If you guys want to know how I feel about Netwatch, make sure you guys check out the video I did on a guy named Magnificent Curtis, who I claim to be Raish Bartmoss's kind of like rival. Anyways, briefly explaining what happens there. Netwatch itself can be viewed by a lot of people as something that is bad, especially like Johnny. Johnny views any megacorp as bad, but a lot of people don't trust Netwatch because of, you know, what they do behind the scenes, etc., etc. Especially, you know, even the Voodoo Boys, and you feel kind of bad for Placide and Brigitte, and you're kind of like, okay, why is Netwatch doing all this shady crap? And you kind of think that, okay, Netwatch has to be bad. However, when I was reading Raish Bartmoss's Guide to the Net, we find that there is a specific division of Netwatch that Spider Murphy and even Raish Bartmoss holds in high esteem. This division is none other than the Pacifica division of Netwatch. Now, I'm not talking about Pacifica like that portion of Night City. When I say Pacifica, I mean the Pacific Ocean. So countries like New Zealand, countries or places like Hawaii, anything that you could think of is in the Pacific. Philippines, Australia, all of the west coast of America pretty much is included in this, except Tokyo, or except Japan. Japan has its own division. But anyways, any country that you can think of is in the Pacific Ocean is under the jurisdiction of the Pacifica division of Netwatch. Their leader, Magnificent Curtis, is considered by many netrunners, and again by Spider Murphy and Raish Bartmoss, as probably one of the best agents. And I don't mean best in terms of, oh, he's really good at hacking. No, I mean best as in good. He lives by what Netwatch should have been, which is actually policing the net in a proper manner. His division is one that is uncorruptible, one that people cannot blackmail, that they actually do their job. And if you guys read Raish Bartmoss's Guide to the Net, a lot of times Raish is just trashing and looking down on other companies because of how easily corruptible, how easily like they are blackmailed, etc. But here we are having a massive megacorp known as Netwatch, but one of their divisions is literally doing what it's supposed to be doing. So everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people just know that if you are doing something wrong in that area, just don't mess with that Netwatch group because they are actually doing their job. Now, how does this tie in to Yorinobu? If Yorinobu was going to sell the Relic program to Netwatch, and because the Pacific division of Netwatch is patrolled or is, I guess, led by a good person, then realistically, it was a good plan for Yorinobu to kind of expose and give things to a ally, well, not really an ally, but more like someone that can be trusted with the information he has from Arasaka. Really what I'm trying to say is V, Jackie, and Evelyn are the ones that kind of messed up this whole plot, because Yorinobu, again, turning rogue or defecting from Arasaka, was giving information to another group who probably could have used the information for good. But again, because here we are, the main characters of this game, kind of messing things up, it's kind of just funny how we almost could have interrupted that whole sequence. Well, we kind of do because the relic is in our head, but if you do choose a sun ending, you still get to topple the Arasaka kind of company and their hold in Night City. But still, it's kind of interesting to see that Yorinobu's plan was actually a really good plan. He was going to expose his father's company. He was going to sell the Relic program to Magnificent Curtis, at least to that area that is trusted. So his plan was actually very solid, and it's just funny that we almost messed it up for him. So like I mentioned earlier, if you completed the game and attained the sun ending, in that reality, Arasaka as a whole loses much of its political and economic power. Along with that, the Relic program is scrapped after spending billions of dollars spent on the project. Literally, this is the happiest ending we could have asked for in the Cyberpunk 2077 game. Had we just waited maybe like 3 hours and had Yorinobu just killed Saburo and sold the Relic, everything would have actually been perfect. Arasaka would not be as powerful as they were. Things would have been better, but you know, in terms of storytelling, I think it was perfect for CDPR to kind of utilize this situation to make somebody turn against Saburo. So there is that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that whole situation and what CDPR did with the story, because I think it's really, really creative. But yeah, of course there are other things to consider, like how bad is Hanako? At first, I considered her to just be like someone, like a daughter just following her father, which is fine. However, I do recall a point where you are meeting her at Embers, I think, and it's the point of no return. And she says something like she is the heart of the family. In that case, she's the heart of the company.
Saburo Arasaka has always valued just one thing. Do you know what it is?
Ties that bind.
Yes, family. I was to be its heart, to uphold life, ensure continuity, stability, never to oppose it.
And her job is to kind of like set things straight or whatever, or like follow the head, which is her dad. It kind of just actually makes me feel that she is, if we look at it this way, she is the heart of an evil being, okay, which is Arasaka, and she still wants to, I guess, go with the plan, go with what they wanted to accomplish. This just makes her bad. Like, there's no way around this. Like, there's no real way for us to say, oh, maybe she was just trying to make her dad. No, like, her dad's evil. So her following her dad is a wrong answer or is a dead end, and just makes me believe that she's even just evil, period. The fact that in the devil ending, she is willing to sacrifice her brother Yorinobu, again, just evil. So I don't think there's any way for us to look at Hanako other than she is evil. Now, the person I do feel the worst for is Takemura. And this is because, I don't know, like, I get that whole Bushido samurai vibe for him. And watching so many animes, you kind of just understand that he's that, like, lost boy or starving kid who was saved, unfortunately, by a very evil man. And now, because he's saved, or he was saved, and he's clothed, and he's bathed, and he's, like, given riches and all that, he feels indebted to this person, which is Saburo. So now he'll do anything this man asks him to do, which is too bad. Like, I wish there was a way for us to, like, fully turn him to the good side, but I just definitely feel like he is that, like, subordinate who will just listen no matter how evil his master is. So let me know what you guys think about that. I feel kind of bad for that, but yeah.
So if you're not fully convinced Yorinobu is the good guy, I have one last clip to show you guys where he talks about fear and what his dad, Saburo, has kind of brought to the whole world and what he was actually planning on doing. So have a listen.
Look. What do you see? It is they who have lost. Kyoto. Dubai. Paris. These people had a chance today, but they lost it.
A chance? A chance for what?
To forget their fear. Fear. Ever since I can remember, the one thing I cannot deny him. He knew how to cause fear in people.
Saburo.
He once told me anything of value is only a flag blowing in wind. And wind is fear. And then, you know what he did? Blew in my face.
Okay, so let's quickly break this down. There are a few things that stuck out to me. The first one was when he talked about the nuking of the Arasaka Tower. This was interesting. This was when I started making like a parallel or a comparison that he is pretty much a corporate version of Johnny. Think about it. He starts his own gang, the Steel Dragons. He kind of does his own thing to try to stick it to his dad. And yeah, unlike Johnny, he has power, money, and influence. And, you know, he was born in the Arasaka family. But still, he talks about how, oh, okay, so if the bombs won't work, you yourself must become the bomb. And that kind of stuck out to me because it is clear that he is trying to stop, trying to prevent Arasaka from doing what they are doing, which is, he also talks about, which is spreading fear to the world. He said that Kyoto, he said that Dubai, he said that Paris, everyone had the opportunity to end this fear of Arasaka. He talks about how the board members downstairs freaked out when they saw a hollow image of Saburo himself. He was not even fully alive or in person yet everyone kind of like, oh my god, it's him, we gotta listen. And this brings about a cool part in Yorinobu's life, and I think it kind of brings about his goals a little bit better. I talked about in the beginning of the video how it was unclear what his goals were. When he talked about fear, it was obvious. He wanted to free the world from the fear that Saburo Arasaka has been using to take control of the world. When he talks about the fact that his dad used that wind and flag analogy, and when his dad blew on his face, and he knew at that moment that he was not scared of his dad, which was pretty cool. So it's obvious Yorinobu is not scared of his dad, but he wanted to free the world of the fear his dad uses to take control of them. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. And if that has not convinced you he's a good guy, let me know what you're thinking in the comment section below, because this, along with what I found in the article, or sorry, the paragraph in the passage, kind of just solidifies the fact that Yorinobu is a good guy.
And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this whole topic about Yorinobu being good. Again, I was influenced because of Reddit, and I was influenced because of the CDPR forums, but because I now have like concrete proof that he was directly going against Arasaka and he was doing it to try and expose the company, makes me feel like, yeah, this guy is really the good guy, and we almost messed it all up by going against him, by siding with Takamura and all the side missions and all that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I think this just proves to be a great DLC opportunity. Imagine us siding with Yorinobu, kind of like taking on the rest of Arasaka to, I guess, take full control of the company. Man, that'd be great if we can go to Tokyo, like a DLC story arc in just Tokyo or Japan in general. That'd be dope to see how Cyberpunk or how CDPR has a take on Japan. That'd be sick. But yeah, this just kind of puts us in a situation where, you know, there's so many questions left to be asked. If you guys have any comments, put them down in the comment section below. Of course, I'm down to talk about all these things. It'd be great to hear what you guys feel. And do you think that Yorinobu is a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a victim? Is he a hero? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that is it for me in this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you click that thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, of course, consider subscribing.